I have not watched myself teach. I don't know if I want to. We'll find out. All right, so we practiced the we're roughing out, and we did the planing cut to get things nice and smooth. Let's see if you can kind of feel this. All right, so see how this grain is kind of running at an angle? It's running up this way. Feel right here versus right here. What's happening, I'm actually cutting against the grain right here. This one's up here and up here. So if you feel around the piece, it should be a little bit fuzzier, like right here and right there. So if you ever have a piece and it doesn't look like it's rough on two sides, look at the grain and it's running uphill. That's a common thing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay this piece out. Here we go. All right, so up here on the board, this is a cove, the pressed area into the wood. We've got a round cylinder. So the way we make these is we're going to switch to the new tool, the spindle gouge. That's this guy right here. And the way we make these is we make scooping cuts down towards the center. And we're going to alternate hands, so we'll scoop down to the right and scoop down to the left. And each one will get a little bit deeper. And when we slowly open this up. Now, you might ask, why don't we, well, if we just continue down, why don't we just go on up the other side in one cut? Because the wood fibers are running this way. And if we were to come this way, we'd be cutting against that grain. And I will show you the unfortunateness of that here in a minute. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay out our spindle. So first thing we're going to do, notice these don't have erasers because they don't last long against this wood. So if we need to erase a line, we just cut it off. So I'm going to make a nice heavy line in the middle, and then I'm going to divide each half into halves. These will later be tops of our beads. And then about a thumb width on either side, I'm going to make another line. And don't make them too close, because if they're tight, they'll be more difficult. And then I'm going to slightly shade that entire area. And we're going to stay out of that. Those are going to be beads later. We're going to focus on the areas that aren't marked. So we're going to cut here, 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 and here. So come on back around, kind of stand right here so you have a good vantage point. So the way this cut works, we start with the tool angled towards the direction of the cut, and then we end with the flute pointing straight up. So it's going to look kind of something like this. Notice I have my thumb wrapped around behind, acting as like a parking bumper. Because what we're going to do is we want to start our bevel running. If we just put this tool into the wood, it's going to skate to the left. And we get this little slash. If you do get that slash, use this tool like a roughing gouge, and just use it straight on and just clean that off. Because that tool will find that slash every time and it'll just repeat itself until you go crazy. Ask me how I know. So I've got my hand wrapped around behind it. I'm behind the tool. And I'm going to roll that tool up. And then I'm going to come back another 1/4 inch. Now each time that I start this cut, the handle is going to start closer and closer and closer until my last cut. This bevel right here is going to be pointing straight across the leg. So we get a nice vertical, steep entry. down at the bottom. So notice each time and that the tool has to follow that diameter inch, because as I'm moving across, that diameter is getting smaller, so that tool bevel has to follow it in. If you just move it across and twist like that, the bevel comes off, that edge digs in, you get the catch. So it's a little bit of a complex motion. It's a twist, push, and raise. Because I'm raising the handle so it follows it in, I'm twisting it so it's cutting on this lower wing. If I come in like that, this tool is cutting above center here, and we'll grab that and pull that in. So we always want to have the tool over cutting with that bottom wing. And as we start our cut, my thumb is just going to push the tool forward, and I'm just going to scratch a line, and that's enough for my bevel to run. Part of what's getting me in trouble is I'm not working over the center of my tool rest. There's a little flex here. If I tighten everything down, that should go away. Yeah. You can see I'm starting to get that half round shape. I'm starting with my handle higher. I'm going to try to make a vertical entry here. Pushing forward with my thumb. Oops. We call that a design change. See, the secret to having everything turn out right is never tell anybody what you're making. That way, it's at the end. This tool is getting dull. That's part of my problem. Let me get another tool. Also, a little more speed will help too. How sharp this is. Sharper. Alright, this last cut, the handle will be perfectly horizontal. This flute is perpendicular to the floor. I've got my thumb behind it. That bevel is pointing straight in. I'm just going to ease that forward with my thumb. Drop the handle, because that has to follow that up. And you can kind of see that half bow shape. Not the best in the world, but I'm going to bring it all through. Alright, this side, we'll do another one off the end, same kind of deal, and then now we're going to put it together. Back to my dull tool. So, if this is going to be my cove, I'm going to start just to the left of center and cut to the right, and go down the bottom and stop. Now switch hands, go down to the bottom and stop. It's just back and forth. Notice I'm behind the tool and I'm alternating. So, with this next cut, I'm going to go down and up the other side. Actually, I'll just go up the other side on this one. And I want you to hear the change in the cut. See how the flatter it's getting? See how I'm getting the sawdust? I'm not really getting even a good cut. And if you come over here and look at it, see all that tear out right there? What you can't see, it doesn't feel bad, but what has happened is, as that tool was cutting against the grain, it wasn't cutting the fibers, it was pulling them out like doll hair. So what will happen is you'll sand that, it'll feel smooth, and you go to put finish on it, and you see all these little circles where there's damage beneath the surface. That you can't get down to. The only way to get rid of that is to cut it off. But that is, you can see where it busted up the edge. And go ahead and I want everybody to feel that. Just, it feels really rough. This tool will put up with it. So now I'll make the correct cut down to center. And I'm going to work out to those lines. And notice how each time I start, the handle's getting a little bit higher and it's going a little bit farther away. So I'm going to get that nice sharp entry. Got my thumb rolled around behind. And you can just kind of feel it scoop and slide around that corner. It'll take you a minute to find it, but once you feel it, you know where you're going. Kind of at the bottom there. So now, if you feel these, the ones that are cut in a proper direction, these feel much smoother. Because we're working with the grain. We're cutting from large diameter down to small. So what I want you to do is, there should be spindle gouges at your station. I want you to start, mark